Or what's up, guys? They finally get out and get some walking in before the rain starts. Looks like another storm is approaching. Luckily, I think we're almost out of the rainy season now. Hopefully by starting next month it'll ease up, and probably by the end of next month we'll be wondering where all the rain went, as is usually the case. I wanted to give you guys a couple updates. They have re-amended some of the rules that I talked about in my last video for entering Cambodia as a foreigner. So I want to give some information on that. Also going to talk about what's up with the comments, because basically I don't know. So maybe somebody else out there does know. But first I want to say that as always, I appreciate all my supporters. I really, really do. You guys have really been helpful. You've helped me get a lot done, and I really, really appreciate it. And I just want you guys to know that. And if you want to be a supporter of mine and get in on the weekly exclusive videos and other content, it's real easy. Just links down below to my PayPal, buymeacoffee.com/DDC, or you can join my Patreon. If you donate through the first two or join my Patreon, then you're on the list. But one caveat to that, if you do donate through PayPal and it's your first time, what I like to do is send a thank you email. I add you to my list to receive all my exclusive content, and in that email I also send you copies of my books. However, this recent update to PayPal has some new features, but it also changed some things. For instance, normally when somebody donates through PayPal, you can click on the transaction. It'll give you their email address that they sent it from. It's pretty much hands off from there, you know. You send the payment, I got your email address, it's good to go. But for this one, they're not letting me. They updated it, so now I click on somebody's name, I can't see their email address. So you're going to have to email me and let me know if it's your first time donating. And if it is, give me your email address, and then I'll go ahead and set all that stuff up. And I will leave an email address for myself, not my main one, because I don't make that one public. It's only for my supporters. But I will leave an email address where you can send me yours if you've donated and it hasn't shown up. And then I'll be sure to add you to the list and send you copies of my books and other things. Alright, just to let you know. And the second thing I want to talk about through PayPal is that they now give you the option to do fundraising right on the PayPal site. And this is exciting because you can set a goal. People can donate however much or however little they want, and they keep you updated with your progress, how much of the goal you've reached, and you know, all that good information. So you can do it all in one place without having to go through a separate place that might take some of the funds for processing before sending them to PayPal. So PayPal's just doing it themselves. So I have one set up there for next month when I start teaching my free classes again. Should be next month when I'm allowed to do that with you know, safety measures in place, hand sanitizer, masks. And my goal is $1,000, and that's because we are going to need a lot of stuff. We're going to need new whiteboards, we're going to need a lot of markers, we're going to need a lot of printed material, we're going to need masks, we're going to need hand sanitizer, we're going to need chairs for the people to sit in. We're just going to need a whole bunch of stuff. And so and you know, and that also helps pay for their tuition for the people who can't afford to send their kids to a regular school. I don't like turning them down, so I will teach them for free and rely on your donations to help with what they were paying me. So I set the goal at $1,000. I'll leave the link down below. This is separate from the regular donations, so it's not going. It's going to the same PayPal account, but it's not going to the same place in that PayPal account, if that makes sense. That's strictly for my goal for starting to teach again, and that'll be very exciting. We'll be going back out to the one of the temples, one of the Watts here, to teach, and we'll also be going back to the apartment building I used to teach at, where they had an area set up for the kids to learn every night, and we'll be setting up something closer to home here as well, because we're not going to have as many kids in the classroom as before because of safety measures. So we're just going to have to teach more hours for anybody who wants to sign up and learn themselves some English and some science stuff and other things. So it's very exciting. So if you want to help out with that, there's a link down below under the headline fundraiser. And then if you want to donate to me regularly, those links for my regular PayPal, Buy Me a Coffee, and my Patreon are also down below. I just wanted to get that out of the way to explain what's going on. Now, YouTube comments. Hey man, I don't know what's happening. The only time I delete YouTube comments is when they're really like obvious trolls, people being mean to somebody else in the comments, you know, because of their opinion, and name calling, childish name calling. Can't believe that still happens with all the adults, but it does. Those kind of comments, I'm just like, just delete it. Nothing good's going to come out of leaving it there. But then there are some that are completely innocent and completely normal and understandable, and for some reason YouTube doesn't allow those comments to get through to the public comment section. I can see them in my notifications, but they don't show up under the videos, and there's no way for me to respond to them or answer them. Even in my exclusive videos, somebody had left me a comment on the one I made just Sunday and said, you know, here's an article about what I was talking about that will help clarify some things. And I was like, okay, cool. Went to click on it. Can't go to the article because his comment didn't show up underneath the video for some reason. And it was a very innocent, helpful comment. And I don't know why. And just in my last video, one of my frequent viewers, subscribers, and commenters, he mentioned he wanted to know that if he heard correctly, that unvaccinated people are going to be able to come into Cambodia as long as they have the $2,000 deposit, $50,000 of insurance, and a 2-week quarantine, if that was still going on. Because in my last video, when I announced that, that was what it stated. And I wanted to answer him. But again, for some reason, that comment did not show up under the video. I just want you to know that I am not doing this. This is YouTube's algorithm seeing a word or perhaps a phrase that they're misinterpreting and thinking it might be some kind of something that goes against their policy, and they're not allowing it through. I wish they would come up with something that in that case I would have the option of saying yes, go ahead and allow it. You know what I mean? Because it's my channel, so seems like they will let me decide. But they don't. But anyway, in response to that question, as of my last video, the answer was yes. According to them, if you were unvaccinated, you would be able to still come in under the strictest measures possible. A full 2-week quarantine in your room, $2,000 deposit. You don't get to choose your hotel room, that kind of thing. But now that has changed. An article I read today has updated the information, and they now state that you had to have at least, you don't have to be fully vaccinated, but you have to be at least partially vaccinated. Unvaccinated people will not be allowed into the country for purposes of retirement, work, or tourism. But if you've been vaccinated once, the same conditions as if you were unvaccinated will apply. Okay, if you're not fully vaccinated, you will still need to spend 2 weeks in a quarantine. Or, I mean, if you're only partially vaccinated, 2 weeks quarantine, $2,000 deposit, $50,000 worth of life insurance, etc., etc. So that has changed since my last video. And like I said, I want to keep you guys as up to date as I can. I'm sure there will be other changes also. I agree with a lot of people who say if you're fully vaccinated, I don't see the need for even a week-long vaccine. And I would have to say I agree with that. I mean, you've done what you were supposed to do when they said get a vaccine, help keep people safe, help keep yourself safe. You did it. And there shouldn't be any other restrictions. If you're fully vaccinated, you have a negative COVID-19 test within 72 hours upon arrival, and you come here and you take a quick test, and that's negative, you should be good to go, in my opinion. But I hope people remember that I'm just giving you the news. I don't make the rules. Some people leave comments sometimes, and I think they're getting a little bit a little bit angry with me or something. And I don't know what to say to that. I don't make the rules. I can't determine what the country does. I don't get to go up to the Prime Minister and say, hey, I'm an American dude living here, and here's what I think you should do, and have him say, you know what, you're the smartest man I ever met. I think you're right. We're going to do it in your honor. And then afterwards, he'll invite me to his birthday party. We'll have a good time and party. And me and the PM will be best buds. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So all I'm doing is telling you the rules as they come out. Now, if I agree with them for whatever reason and you disagree with my agreement, that's one thing. But don't get mad at me because I'm giving you the news. That's all I can do. And I also feel the same way about visas on arrival. I know it's a hassle for some people to get a visa in advance, especially if you live in a country where you don't have a Cambodian embassy or consulate. You have to travel to another country, right? If you live in a country that doesn't have one, you got to travel to a different one to visit that embassy or consulate and get your visa in advance there. And it might take more than one trip to do it, depending on your circumstances and any other rule changes that might take place between now and then. But I think they should bring those back for fully vaccinated people. I think that would be smart. You know, like I said, you have your vaccination card, you got proof that you've been vaccinated, you have a negative COVID test within 72 hours before arrival. While you're waiting in line to get your initial visa, you could just be quick tested right then. And if that's negative, let you go on through, get your visa upon arrival. But again, I don't get to make those rules. Now I would expect that some of the restrictions are going to change in the coming weeks and months, maybe even days, you never know. But right now that was the big rule change, that if you're unvaccinated, you're not going to be able to come in as a tourist, retiree, or to work in Cambodia. So I just wanted to explain these things to you guys, the things that have changed. And you can probably expect more of that in the, like I said, coming days, weeks, months. I mean, Cambodia has a long-term plan to be fully open, completely, back to almost what was normal under the new normal by 2023. So it's not a quick process. But it starts, you know, today on the 18th, and it, well, the 18th as I'm making this video. I don't know when you'll see it. But it starts today, and it will slowly start to incorporate, you know, different countries that might not be on the list of approved countries that can come in yet. And eventually it'll, you know, the new normal we'll be calling normal in, you know, no time. So I wanted to explain that thing about the PayPal. I wanted to explain that thing about the YouTube comments and give you this update. Just so you know, just for your edification. Alright. That'll do it for this one. Be sure to check out all my links down below. Like I said, I appreciate all the support you guys are giving me. And if we could get a couple $100 this month from now, that would be fantastic and awesome. It would really help out. So if you can donate and you want to, links down below to my PayPal, buy me a coffee, and all that good stuff. Also links to other videos, video people vlogging in Cambodia. They're actually real people, not video people, but they're real people who are playing video people vlogging in Cambodia. All those links for their channels are down below. Really good stuff. And of course my social media is down below. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out on Facebook Messenger, Instagram, even on the Twitters, if you're into that sort of thing. Alright. Want to thank you guys for watching. Hit the like button, subscribe if you have not, and share it on social media if you wish. And I will talk to you guys in the next one.